and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros, and this is a little space I like to carve out to share different tips, tools, techniques, nuggets, stories, anecdotes, exercises, things that I can do, that you can do individually, that we can do individually and collectively in order to help us move the needle, even if it's 1 degree at a time, to new levels of health and happiness, whatever that means for this particular moment in our lives. During the month of May, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I like to focus on May in terms of really rooting into my mindset and making sure that where my mind is set is the lens and the perspective by which I see the world, by which I take care of myself, by which I have interactions with other people. So the mindset, our mindset is really important to determine how we create and cultivate our lives, right? So if we take a couple of steps back and we start thinking about how we're going to create and cultivate a healthy and positive mindset, this month I was sharing tips, 1 tip per week all month. They're so yummy. And thank you to all of you who've been watching and who've been sending me your emails or sending me, like little comments on social media saying, I use this and it really worked. This is hilarious. I'm going to try it. I tried it and it worked, because it does. I would not share anything with you that didn't work for me continuously and consistently over time, and that works for my clients, right? Like, I'm not just the one-man test. I'm a one-man study group, focus group, no, or one woman rather. So I'm using it. I use it consistently. It works consistently as long as I'm using it in the right way. And other people who use it consistently have said, this stuff really works. I know. That's why I'm sharing it with you, honey, because I know what it's like to live an anxious, riddled, like depressed life. I've been there, did that, got a t-shirt, made it into a handbag, using it to carry my stuff around. You know what I'm saying? Took the things from my past that put me in survival mode, recognized that those things are no longer helpful, useful in my life, converted, transmuted, played with them, made them something else, and now that thing is useful again. Ayo! Okay, where was I? Mindset May. So here's the last 2. I said I was going to do 1 tip a week, but I want to give 2 for today because they tie together and I feel like they have a nice tie for the entire month. The first is that change is inevitable. We really have to get used to the fact that change is inevitable and almost let it become a mantra or an affirmation. Change is inevitable. Change happens all the time. Change is a part of our lives. Change is necessary. If it's not changing, it's dying. Change helps us tap into our connection. Change helps us tap into our creativity. And change helps us tap into our collective or our community. Come on now. Change, it's a C word, helps you tap into your connection with your higher source, your higher self, whatever it is that you connect to, love, whatever it is that you connect to, helps you connect to your creativity so that you can look at change and say, I see the opportunity in this moment to learn, to grow, to create, to impact, to do, right? And it allows us to connect to our community because I can't do all the things and I don't want to. But I have a community of people that then I can access and tap into and say, hey, this change is happening. 1, can you help me? And 2, where are your strengths and what is it that you're capable of bringing to the table so that we can collectively handle this, right? Change is a good thing. It's a necessary thing. And the more that we allow ourselves to get into the mindset and the practice of remembering that change is good, the easier change becomes for us because we no longer look at change as this devastating, catastrophic thing. We go, well, this is a little inconvenient because it's not exactly what I had planned, but I also recognize that if I have expectations of how every little step is going to go, those expectations are more likely than not going to get blown up because I'm not the only one involved in this particular dynamic, nor can I determine, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't determine what's going to happen in the future and how things are going to necessarily play out. So what I can do is decide who I'm going to be and how I'm going to show up in the spaces of my life. That's the only expectation I have, and what comes will come, and as it does and change happens, because it always will, I can handle it, and I know that I can because I look at my entire life and I see the evidence of the fact that I'm capable of dealing with change. That's where you would be like, amen. That's where I feel like I'm like, yes, girl. I'm hearing it to myself and like, come on, Yes, let's go. Change is inevitable, and it can be a good thing depending on how you look at it and what your practice statements are, what your practice thoughts are, what your practice story is about change. Change is your friend. Calm down. You know who else is your friend? Failure. So this is the other piece. Failure is your friend. When we develop a mindset that says change is coming and failure is my friend, then change no longer rocks my whole world, and failure doesn't make me feel like a failure. It makes me recognize that what I did, that particular action, that moment, that thing, failed, which is a good learning opportunity. Opportunities everywhere. Check the last video, right? One of the last videos. And because that opportunity is there, I can then go, oh, I know what to do. I can create this shift. Or I might have to go back to the drawing board. Or let me check in with my people. Somebody else might have an idea I didn't think of. Right? Failure does not have to be the end all be all, stay home, cry yourself to sleep mess. It doesn't. It is going to happen. It is a necessary part of the process in order for us to continue to learn, grow, and evolve. Failure is your friend. Change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. A failure is your friend. When we root into those two, in addition to everything else we've talked about this month, when we root into those two kind of pillars, they help us see the world through a new lens, and then nothing feels catastrophic unless it actually is. And instead, when things pop off, because they will, we go plot twist and we keep it moving. We tap into our creativity, we tap into our intelligence, we tap into our community, and so on and so forth, right? We recognize that most things that we fail at are not catastrophic. It's just an inconvenience. And again, we can do inconvenient because we have multiple times. Look at my life. It's a life that has a bunch of inconveniences, whether self-inflicted or external. I can do inconvenient. I've done it again and again and again. And when I show up fully in myself and in my knowing and in my capacities to deal with inconvenience, it always works out in my favor. And I'm sure that if you're really for real, like being truthful, you could say the same thing about you. Change is inevitable. Failure is your friend. Change is inevitable. Failure is your friend. Wrapping up Mindset May. I hope that was helpful. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. If you haven't already, get over to my website, subscribe to my mailing list, and you'll get this in your inbox every week, as well as little updates if I'm giving any talks, if I have any workshops going on, and discounts for those types of things. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? And drop me a comment. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if this is anything that you use, if you've noticed any changes in your own life by using any of these practices. Just talk to me. I am sending you love and light, and there is nothing you can do about that. Nothing that you can do about that. Peace.